4 more deaths in the Channel. Do you think that we will see more before this route is closed?
Unfortunately, I think that we will continue to see a long, never-ending line of people losing their lives in the Channel until we provide people with alternative, safe ways to travel across and to reach us and to seek asylum on our shores. It is that simple. We have the option available to us to live in a world where we do not wake up every month or so and hear about another tragedy in the Channel or in the Mediterranean. We can provide people with safe routes, but until we do it, this will continue to happen.
The incoming Labour government is pushing their new Border Security Command. They think that that is the solution to tackle the smuggling gangs. Do you think it will work? Do you think it will make a difference?
I don't think Keir Starmer or Yvette Cooper or anyone in the entire country believes that another police force is the solution that will prevent these deaths from happening or prevent the people who so desperately need solutions from seeking to find them on our shores. So nobody disagrees with the plan to tackle smuggling gangs and international criminal gangs. Everybody sees the horror of that situation. But the Labour government will never be in a stronger position than it is now. It has just won a huge mandate. They have the power now there will be a borders bill in the King's Speech. They have the power now to change direction and to stop treating the public like fools who will believe that another police force will ever save these people's lives. The reality is that the UK will always be one of the countries that has to play a part in protecting refugees who are seeking protection. And if we don't give people safe routes in order to reach us, then they will continue to die. And Keir Starmer knows that, and Yvette Cooper knows that, and even Nigel Farage knows that. We all know that.
You say that they have the power to change direction because of this mandate that they have. They have already announced the cancellation of the previous government's policy to send people to Rwanda. Is that not a change of direction in your eyes?
That is absolutely excellent news, and that the Rwanda plan was a massive failure, a huge cost, and caused immense suffering to people within the asylum system in the UK. Obviously, it didn't work and was never going to, and it's brilliant that they've changed course on that. It's also brilliant that they're going to do the bare minimum of the government's job by processing asylum claims, which the previous government refused to do, which built up such a horrendous backlog of people living in squalid conditions in barracks and barges and hotels around the country. So there is positive news from this government, and there is every opportunity for them to really provide us with real change. But the only viable long-term solution to people making these dangerous crossings is to work with our neighbours across Europe to provide safe ways to access our asylum systems. There is no two ways about it. We cannot wish these people away. If they manage to arrest some smugglers, we'll all be very pleased, and another smuggler will then be there to take the family of refugees who still have no solution across the water. We need them to be realistic about this.
So your belief is that the creation of safe routes is the only solution. How quickly, realistically, could something like that happen? Because that is something that will, require a huge amount of paperwork, a huge amount of logistics.
Yes, it is a difficult ask. That doesn't mean it isn't necessary. There are lots of challenges facing this government, and this is one of them. I think the only way to achieve it is by taking the lead in Europe, by working with our partners across the continent to change the direction from one where each individual country is now trying to shirk responsibility, behave in such a hostile manner as to force refugees to seek safety in one of their neighbouring countries instead of there. So we're doing it saying everybody should just stay in France, but France is equally being hostile and saying everybody should just stay in Italy. And it's obviously Italy's opinion that nobody should stay in Italy at all. So this is not going to work, and it will take really hard work to turn this around. But it is absolutely necessary that we work together as a continent, recognise the reality. None of the hostility have stopped people coming. People need solutions. We need to offer them those solutions. And the first step would be to offer them travel documentation for the purpose of seeking asylum in the UK, which means that they could take the ferry or the Eurostar just like you or I would do. And that would be the same people who are crossing anyway, who are risking their lives, and in some cases places are dying and drowning, they would be able to enter our country safely, and they would be able to enter that asylum system that the Labour government has said that they are going to run efficiently and fairly. And that would be an absolutely necessary first step in order to prevent the drownings. And if we don't take that step, then the truth is that we are using the risk of these drownings as a method of border control, and that is unconscionable.
There will be those watching this who will be saying, you're essentially just saying anybody can come across and be housed in our hotels, in our bed and breakfasts while they wait for a decision from the UK government, which will cost us, British taxpayer, millions and millions of pounds. The country can't afford it, and that there are too many here already, putting too much strain on resources.
Well, the end of your sentence there is the answer. The policies that we pursue at the moment do not stop people from coming here. There is no policy that makes these people disappear. That simply isn't an option on the table. So saying what I'm saying provides people with ways to travel safely to get here, yes, it does. I do not have a solution to offer you that makes these people disappear and takes away Britain's responsibility for being part of the protection internationally of refugees. That solution doesn't exist. It's a fantasy. The only two options we have is to continue.
But Britain can't provide a solution to every single refugee in the world, can it?
No, nobody's talking about solutions for every refugee in the world. The number of refugees who come to the UK are totally manageable. The vast majority of refugees worldwide never come anywhere near Europe, never come anywhere near the richest and safest countries in the world. They stay within the region where they have fled from. There are very, very relatively few people who seek to come to Europe as a whole, and Europe is a very large, very stable, very rich continent that is perfectly capable of absorbing these people if we manage it correctly. And furthermore, we are an aging continent. We are getting older and older. We have greater and greater health and care needs, and fewer young working age people working in our economies, providing the labor that we so desperately need. So we also need people desperately, and those people need us desperately. And there is only one solution to this that will ever make sense.
Zoe Gardner, migration expert. Good to talk to you today. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Jane.
Let's just bring you a bit of breaking news.